can't say this about season 4. It is going to be so worth the wait.
Nowhere, actually.
A wrecking machine. I'll take it.
I'm still figuring out my own style, Mark, actually.
It was great.
It took 2 minutes and I had to answer, yeah, go for it.
Are you sure you're not interested? I was like, don't ask me again. I can't refuse it twice.
In Holland, in one country.
She got me so deep and underwater and I drank it. That's not good.
You'll try chocolate from South Africa to Australia to England. It will taste so different.
So it's been really amazing that it's been with you after 10 long years.
The first title we were messing around with, we were going to call it Lockdown. And then after a while, we actually kind of realised, God, this is dragging on a lot longer than what we thought it was going to be.
I didn't want to give people a reminder.
Our bass player has a band. We were like, let's go on the road, man. But and then it just came to a screeching halt.
We had to work on like how I was biting the carrot. Like I had to do it very purposefully, you know? You didn't want a weak bite, but you didn't want a bite that was too strong.
Someone jumps the stage and one of our techs just body slams him to the ground and you can see me kick him.
I guess I was too distracted. I was having too much fun. Never a bad thing.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, got it. Hello.
Hello, Mark.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts, based here in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. Thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel and what I do with the media, if you could subscribe to my channel here on YouTube and also like this video, that's always appreciated. If you want to know what's coming up for future live streams, you can hit the notification bell. And if you're on the Twitch side of things, if you could follow me over there, that's always appreciated. Getting closer and closer to those magic numbers that I've been looking for. And also, if you want to know what's coming up, follow me as Eclectic Arts Media, one word, on Instagram. That's where I post everything first. And then some of that information I start migrating over to Facebook. So these are kind of the main platforms that I use: YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you see anything from Twitter or TikTok or anything else, most likely it's not me or something that I just in a blue moon decided to post from one of those other platforms. A little bit of housekeeping. So coming up later today on Tuesday at 3:30, it is Tuesday, right? Yeah, at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time here on the West Coast, I have The Ring, which is a progressive rock band from Canada, and got a chance to get exposed to their new single, and I really, really enjoyed what I heard. So their founder and guitarist, Don, is going to be joining me again at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Motor Jesus from Germany is going to be joining me to talk about their new record and everything that they have going on. So if you'd like to join that would be great. And if you're watching this right now, and if you have a question or comment for my guest, you can put it into the comment on either platform that you're on, and I will try to incorporate those as we go along. So just kind of know that's where that's at. And I also want to thank Dustin from AFM Records for getting this interview together. I've been so remiss about thanking people during my interviews, so I want to absolutely thank Dustin for doing this. I really appreciate it. Okay, here we go. My guest today is a modern metal band from Sweden. Their new album, A Virtual World, was released last month. Please welcome to the Eclectic Arts Virtual Studio, Erica and Edwin from Metalite.
Hello.
Hi. How are both of you?
We're fine, I think.
Yeah,
it's good.
Thank you so much for taking the time this evening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations on getting the third album out from Metalite. And how's the reception been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm stunned about the really good feedback we got from listeners all over the world, and yeah, it's really nice that the album is finally out. We have been working for this for a long time, so yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and was the album? Did you guys work on recording this album during the pandemic time, or was it done before it?
During the pandemic time.
Okay.
We actually started right when the pandemic hit us, I think, here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Almost at the same time.
Okay, so how did that? Were you just sending files back and forth, or did you ever get a chance to actually be in the studio at the same time, or how did that work?
When I think I have also pre-demos of the songs, and me and Erika, we worked tight together, in the studio to get the right keys and all the good harmonies and vocals and all of that. So me and Erika have met a lot under this pandemic. Yeah.
Okay, and then so Edwin, as you just mentioned, that you were working on harmonies and everything with Erika. Erika, were you also knowing, like, was it kind of a two-way street, meaning that vocally and harmonize-wise, you knew like what you maybe wanted to do on some of the songs that maybe been a little bit different than the demo?
Yeah, I mean, Edwin includes me a lot in the recordings, but the lyrics and the melody is like done when I first hear the songs. But then when we meet and put in the harmonies and fills and everything, we do it together and like painting the music and the songs together. So I'm very including in that.
Okay. And and we're going to talk about all kinds of things related to the new album, but just kind of jumping around a bit. Erika, I'm curious about your vocal background. So, like, are you a classically trained vocalist, or when did you start singing? Can you fill in the background piece?
Actually, I don't have any education in singing and performing. I started as a young girl when I was a child, actually. Sang a lot in the church I grew up in. And it's been a big part of my life since I was little. But I started to work as an artist here in Sweden in 2008, I think, like professionally, in a show restaurant here in Sweden. And yeah, that's what I was doing until 2017, I think, in different places here in Sweden, and also like in other show productions and everything. So my background as an artist is in show business.
Oh, okay. So when you mentioned that you were singing shows, like in that kind of context, so were you singing, like, what kind of music were you singing then?
Different, but covers. It is like built up in the show restaurants. We also is serving like a waitress, so we are like singing waitresses, and so you go out with all of your guests, and yeah, having a good time with them, and then you go up on stage and perform, and it's covers like different numbers during the nights.
Okay, and just curious, did you have a certain cover song that you liked to sing when you're doing that?
No, but I always liked to sing rock, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Edwin, is that how you met Erika when she was doing that work?
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
I was out with my boys, and we were at this restaurant and saw this rock show that Erika was performing. So
I was your waitress also, right?
Yeah. That's kind of crazy, but
I don't remember this.
Me neither. But I have some good, cell phone movies and pictures from that night, and I think the show was really awesome. And yeah, that's why I contacted Erika after, I think it was like a half year after that show that night. I contacted Erika for joining Metalite, because Emma, the first singer of the band, she left after the first album. So yeah, that's the story.
It just goes to show you never know where you're going to find a future band member.
Yeah, exactly.
They could be singing one night at a restaurant and doing that kind of thing. And the next thing you know, they're in your band.
Yeah.
If you're gonna look after good singing, you can always go to this restaurant in Sweden, because it's kind of famous here in Sweden because just all the talents there are singing and performing there. So that's not a strength thing. No.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and I mean, we have some things like, I think over here we'd probably call it dinner theater, where you can go have a meal and there's a performance that goes on, and they do it pretty much every night type of thing. So there's something kind of similar here in Seattle, or there was before the pandemic. I don't know if it's coming back, but hopefully it will. And so, Edwin, what prompted you to start Metalite?
I've played instruments for about all my life. I started to play the drums when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I have always been into the music, and I love music. Big interest. And after, when I was about 15 years old, I started some cover bands, and I was performing with different bands, playing covers just for fun. And writing my own music have always been a dream for me. So, I think I needed to do this because, I was getting old and stuff like that. And, I need to check this out in my bucket list, to write my own songs and stuff like that. And the first song I wrote was Afterlife. And I think it was like a success from the beginning. And that's how it all started. I wanted to write my own music, and I wanted to blend those and mix those genres that I like the most. And the 90s Eurodance, like German trance thing, and together with this power metal thing that I was discovered like in the 90s too. Also like Sonata Arctica and Stradivarius, Nightwish, and all the Finnish power metal thing. When the modern metal, they included some keyboards and stuff like that. That was my idea from the beginning.
Okay, that's very cool. I like the idea, and also just with how the band sounds, that you're pulling from different genres. You're not just staying stuck in one genre. Not that that's a bad thing for some bands, but I like the fact that there's lots of other influences going on with Metalite. And Erica, I'm curious, when you first joined the band, were you familiar with this style of music?
No, actually not. I've listened to a lot of rock during my days, but metal was this kind of metal was new to me. I have never sang it before, and haven't listened to it either. But I liked it. I liked what I heard, and it was so fun to sing it as well. So
okay. And when you first heard the first songs to start putting vocals down, was it even like a little bit intimidating? Like, how's my voice going to fit over that?
Yeah, of course I was nervous about that, because I was afraid that you have to like sing in some certain way and things like that, in maybe some way that I don't know how to sing, but it fit my voice, so it's just to sing.
Yeah, no, it fits very well. And Edwin, I'm curious too. Were you looking for a certain style of vocalist then, when you were looking for a new singer?
Yeah, of course. I was looking for the pop style, and kind of clean female voice, and just like the Eurodance stuff in the 90s. They always had a popish female voice in the choruses and stuff like that. But when I met Erica and saw this rock show with her, and it was a perfect match. That little rock essence of the voice, and together with this pop style, is perfect. Yeah, for this kind of music.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to the Metalite records, because it's almost like, and I'm glad you've been talking about like the 90s German, trance type of influence, because it's danceable. It's not something you equate necessarily with a metal band, but knowing that you guys are a little bit more than a metal band, that you can, you can actually get on the dance floor with it, which over here in America at least is kind of different.
But that's a question we get very often. How do you want your fans to like move to your music?
Yeah, react down the stage.
Is it like dancing or is it headbanging, or you can dance however you want?
As long as you sing with the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I guess you could try to do both. You could try to dance and headbang at the same time.
Yeah, headbang is a kind of dance, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you dance a little bit, then you get into the mosh pit, then you dance a bit.
Yeah.
Kind of mix it up. But that's what I think. The other thing I really like is that the music furry, even though there's certain songs that are more serious and definitely darker, but the majority of them have a really uplifting quality to them. And was that done on purpose?
Yeah, of course, especially this third album, A Virtual World, because I think right now in the pandemic time, we all need some positive vibes and uplifting songs. So that was kind of the idea. But we also want to mix, Biomechanicals was a more darker album, more darker lyrics and the music. And we wanted to mix, the first album was a little bit happier. The first and the second one, to mix them together, and we got Virtual World. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Now I think about it, that makes perfect sense. That if you take the first two albums and put them together, you get the third one.
Yeah.
Okay, and since you were, like you mentioned that you were working on this album during the pandemic, was there ever a thought of like not putting the album out in March and actually waiting longer until like things open up even more, or was it like, no, we need to get this out now?
We need to get this out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked very hard to get this album recorded and mixed together with Jacob Hansen. We really wanted to release it this year because, it's kind of cool to release an album in a so short time from the second album. It's just 1.5 years, I think, between those albums, and that's kind of cool. And I really wanted to release it as soon as possible.
Okay, good. And I've had a chance to talk to so many different guests during this time, and it's either been one or the other. It's like, we want to get this out, we're just going to see where the chips fall, and other ones are like, we want to be able to tour behind it, so we're going to wait a little bit longer. And then they saw this thing kept going. It's like, well, screw it, we're just going to put it out then. And then just hope that live shows come back at some point. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you do a release live show before the pandemic kind of hit for the album?
Yeah, the November before the pandemic hit. So we had one gig with Biomechanicals.
Yeah, actually, it was the only gig with the new record Biomechanicals. So we all just played one gig with that album. So that's kind of strange to release a third one. And
so you didn't have no touring cycle for Biomechanicals. It was just a one-show touring cycle.
Yeah, the release party.
Yeah, okay. And just for my own knowledge, because I think for some people here in the U.S., you're a newer band, you're kind of a newer band in general. But where have you toured? What countries have you been able to hit pre-pandemic, of course?
Actually, we haven't been out so much and played. We started this Metalite thing, released the first album at 2017, and we had one gig with Emma, and then she left. So my first priority was to find another singer, and that took about a year. So then when me and Erika met, I started to write new songs, and then the recording cycle was engaged. So after I think it took about a year to record the album or something like that, make it and mix, master, and all stuff like that. We had one release show with Biomechanicals, and then the pandemic was going on. So we haven't been out so much. We've been to like Russia. That was a experience too.
And we
we
did
have been
some shows here in Sweden.
exactly. We were out touring here in Sweden with about 4 or 5 shows, I think, with the Here's in Time album together with Erica. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, and did you guys end up doing a show in France?
No.
Nothing in France.
No, nothing.
Okay.
We have plans. You know, we before the pandemic, we had booked like a UK tour, and we also had plans to go for a European tour, but all was postponed or cancelled. So we really hope to get out to play like in maybe this autumn and beginning of next year.
Okay, yeah, and that kind of sounds like the timeline, that some things might be able to happen this summer at the earliest, and then but more people are looking at the fall or possibly even into the early part of 2022. Because it's an expensive proposition to get out on tour and book all the shows, and everybody makes money, the band and the promoters and everybody else, and to have to keep rescheduling and pushing things out, it just becomes a headache. Let alone that pretty much every band wants to get out on tour, and they're all just waiting. So there's only so many clubs and so many days that you can book bands too. So it's going to be really interesting to see, like, do certain bands get out, or they're like, everybody's just, okay, green light, and we're all going to try to get out on the road. But hopefully that happens sooner than later, because we miss live music so much, just live performances period, so much.
Yeah. We have announced official that we're going to Spain in September, and we really hope to go there, but you never know what's happened. So, but that's officially announced. So we
hope for it.
We hope for it. Yeah.
Okay, and even like what we're doing now, doing a virtual interview live stream. Has the band considered doing any kind of live stream event prior to getting out on the road?
We have talked about it a little bit, but I think we're not doing that kind of thing. Streaming concerts. We really want to be like really professional if we do it. So it costs maybe a lot of money, and we need professional people to work with this kind of thing. So maybe later. Maybe after the summer, or maybe in autumn, if we can get out and play live.
Okay, so it might be something you look at as an alternative if things don't happen in the fall.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And one song that I really like on the new album is Talisman, and so I'm wondering if you can tell me about the just how that song came to be, the writing part of it, and then just the recording and performance part of it, because I think it's one of the best songs on the album.
Thank you. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite songs as well.
Cool.
From the first time I heard it, I was like, I love this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really nice. And when I came up with this idea for Talisman, it was like to be, a sequel on Far From the Sanctuary song, kind of mystery. Lyrics and samples and melodies and stuff like that, and that's I think it's got very well.
Okay, and then Erica, what is it about the song that you particularly like?
I like the heaviness in the songs. It's kind of like this mystery sound, and a little bit more heavier than the other songs. I think that songs like sticks out a little bit from in the album.
Okay, so Erica, just hypothetically, does that mean you like to sing on more heavy songs then?
Yeah, I maybe do, but I like the happy sound as well. But I love this, the heaviness and maybe the more dark sound.
Okay, and
it fits my dark soul, I'm kidding.
Well, and Erica, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you also do some vocals recently for a Sonata Arctica album or project coming up?
Not for Sonata Arctica. If it It's like the enigmatic entrance.
Enigmatic entry, yeah. Enigmatic entrance.
Yeah. I did some vocals for one of their upcoming songs. So the results will be out soon, I think.
Yeah. And that's a pretty heavy band, right?
Yeah. I was really happy that they contacted me and asked me to do it. So it was fun.
Okay, so that goes right with what you're saying, that you like both styles of the poppier stuff, but you also seem to be liking the heavier
stuff
of course. Too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with album number 4 from Metalite. what these guys.
It's kind of nice to have the singer of Metalite together with Sonata Arctica's drummer Podimo, and it's a cool mix, because my big idols when I was younger was like Sonata Arctica. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool. It'd be interesting if you ever get a chance again down the road, if even though your styles of music are different, if the two bands actually toured together.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Maybe.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I know one thing, that because I saw like Sonata here twice, and they toured with Delane, and then they toured with I think Sabaton, if I remember right. Nightwish was one of the other shows too.
Yeah.
Those kind of packages go over very well here in the U.S. when there's that type of variance, but also some similarities to the music too. So it doesn't matter if it's got some growls in it; it'll still go over well with the other crowd too. So, and you released quite a few videos for this new album, and so were they all shot at the same time, or just shot in chunks during the pandemic, or how did that work?
We did Peacekeepers and Cloud Connected during a weekend. So we did one video at one day and the other one the next day.
And it was in Gothenburg here in Sweden, together with a production team who's called 11 Frames. Also did our first video for Afterlife. Really, really nice guys to work with.
Okay, yeah, and they came out looking really well, and I'm just curious. So, Edwin, are you have a real interest in technology and that type of thing? Because it seems to kind of permeate Metalite's world.
No, it
no,
doesn't.
no. What are you talking about? Yeah, this is my biggest interest. It's like this sci-fi technology stuff like that, and together with the music, it's a perfect match in Metalite. And my biggest interest, like music and technology. So yeah, that's why.
Put them together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, and Erica, do you share that interest in technology and all that kind of thing? Or are you like, I'll leave it to Edwin?
No, I don't have that kind of interest in technology, but I do think that the lyrics that Edwin is writing has a meaning to it. Like when you read the lyrics, you can actually read between the lines, and it's a under meaning, and I like that. It's like metaphors that you can translate into life, and I think they are very good.
Metaphors about modern subjects.
Yeah.
In real life, yeah.
Okay, and Edwin, is there a particular influence for how the album cover came out for A Virtual World?
Actually, the idea for the artwork was this sci-fi Spielberg movie Ready Player One. Was the biggest influence for the artwork, and also I wanted A Virtual World artwork to be a bridge over from the Biomechanicals album, with a warrior in the front, with Erica on the Biomechanicals album artwork, and together with this A Virtual World artwork with Erica too, as a modern warrior in the
sci-fi world.
Yeah, in the sci-fi world, So Jan Nyland, who did the artwork, he was like, whoa, this was kind of good things. You know, he also liked my ideas, so he did a really good job with this.
Yeah, no, it's got a really well, it matches exactly what I think you're trying to get across as a band. It's got this futuristic vibe to it, but it's also very strong, and the colors pop out from it, and it's very eye-catching. Maybe that's what that's the word I think I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
thank you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want, because in a sea of music releases, you want yours to stand out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and Erica, I was curious, when you first, again, it sounds like you haven't had too many chances, but the first time you performed with the band live, what was that experience like? Were you nervous during that time, doing that for the first time?
Yeah, I was nervous. It was here in Stockholm at a rock pub called the Pub Anchor, actually. So that was my first like rehearsal gig with Metalite. And yes, even though I've been like performing for this many years that I've been done the artist thing, but this was something new, like a live band, a live show with original songs and everything. So, and the fans that we have here in Stockholm, how would they take me into the band? Or so it was many thoughts, but I was nervous, but I think the gig went well.
Yeah, it was a nice gig. We met a lot of fans there too. One of them flew in from, I think, the Wales and UK or something. Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that anytime fans travel to see a band, that's always like puts them on another level, especially from another country.
Yeah.
Oh man. And Erica, for you, doing some gigs after that, did it get easier and more comfortable the more shows that you did?
Yeah, it was. I was more comfortable, and we found our way to include each other on the stage and everything. So so now we're just longing to get up on stage and perform for all of our fans and give them a hell out of show.
Yeah, again, hopefully that happens sooner than later. I know the fans can't wait for you guys to get out there and do a show, anywhere. So if it's the one in Spain, if it's the one in the UK, any of that stuff, hopefully it all happens. And is there anything kind of immediately in the next couple months that's coming up from the band in between the potential live shows?
I don't know really. You know, we have prepared a lot of stuff, but I don't think. Maybe. Just keep an eye on our Facebook page.
There you have it, fans. Make sure that you're following their Facebook page. It sounds like some news is going to drop at some point, but you have to keep watching their Facebook page and their socials to find out what that is.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Well, Erica and Edwin, thank you so much for taking the time tonight. And I love the album and love what you guys are doing. I hope that you get a chance to get back out there on the road and bring the music to the stage so that all your fans can appreciate it. And I just hope until that time that you stay safe over there. And maybe we can talk again, as it gets closer to actually doing a show live, and we can kind of help promote it.
That sounds really nice. Nice for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care over there, and hopefully
take care.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.